Hope you're ready. Everybody gather around. It's about to get real. Featuring the treasure man himself. Here's a rock collaboration in faceting and cabochons and everything that comes along. In faceting and cabochons and everything that comes along. I got amethyst cathedrals, citrine geodes, quartz crystal clusters, and can you pass the mustard? Emeralds and diamonds, garnets are shining. Who would have thought? Rocks are made for grinding.
Hey, how's it going, sir?
How you doing?
Hey, good. My name's Jason. Nice to meet you.
I'm Joe Sally with Fault Line.
Hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, your brother sent me over. He says that you guys own the Wild Turkey Mine. Are you guys a part of
He
it?
owns it. He and his wife own it, and of course, being a sibling, it does make it easier for me to get access to the mine. And it's always been intriguing. We've been up there for many years, and it's a fascinating place to dig for sure.
I love to dig, man. I dug so deep, I found myself surrounded.
Who doesn't?
So yeah, so yeah.
So this is some of the material, the serpentine that's from the Wild Turkey Mine, and I like to do my own lapidary, like to cut and polish.
Beautiful
And,
stuff.
the serpentines will definitely vary depending on what location in the quarry or the pit that you're in, and you can see that there's quite a variety of species of serpentines within that group, and this would be from the same mine right here.
How big's a mine?
Oh, it's on about 60 acres, but the mine area itself, at least let's just say the geological outcrop that they're digging on, is probably only about an acre or two at this point. So unless they...
How deep do they get in there?
Oh, I would say right now they're probably a good 20, 30 feet at some points in there, and it's been benched off. There's a lot of history about that area and why it was originally mined, and so therefore there are benches in areas that were already existing, so it would make it a little easier for them to get to the exposed serpentines. So yeah, so they originally if you go back about 80, 90 years ago, that area was mined heavily for the mineral magnesite. And magnesite was really important back in the war era because they needed it for steel refining. During the war era, they were cut off from Austria and they couldn't get the magnesite with the high carbon content that they needed, and so they had to find someplace else to go. And it turned out, as they sent out their geologists to search around to find it, lo and behold, Northeast Washington State turned out to be a place where they had a high carbon magnesite that was perfect in steel refining.
That's awesome. And when did they find that?
You probably had to go back to about 1915, 1920, somewhere in there, where about World War I was going on, and it was really, really important. So magnesite was turned out to be high contents, high quality, and a lot of it in those hills. And what originally was the James McGrath mine many years ago sat dormant for probably 60 years, maybe a little less, but they ended up buying the property after digging out. We all dug out there for a while. There was nobody doing anything with it, and they ended up buying the property and of course all the mineral rights to go with it. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And so just not too far away where my wife and Gail and I dig, is the Midnight Marble location. Right now it's not really talked much about its exact location because there is no claim on it at this point, but it is a very unique material that is associated within the serpentines, but it has some unique properties as well. So the Midnight Marble, you can see there are some similarities to the serpentines. This will have argolites, magnesites, and pyrite cubes.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, you can see the little wink patterns.
Little pyrite cubes.
That's adorable. Look how cute those things are. I love me some pyrite.
I'll show you an example. As far as true Midnight Star, Star is the black argolite with a very distinctive pyrite pattern in it. And it's very specific in that zone that we're digging in, where the pyrite is.
It's definitely
prolific.
Yeah, it's definitely ain't pie wrong. It's definitely pyrite right there.
Righteous.
Yeah. So how long does it take you to cut something like that and buff it?
Oh, fortunately, it's a soft stone, so it cuts pretty quickly. I probably could be cut through this in just a few minutes. This particular one has a lot of argolite, which is a lithified clay or mud. It's been hardened, which gives it that black color. When cutting, it'll bleed like mud. at times.
Yeah, and the most scale goes 1 through 10, right? Yeah.
Most scales 1 through 10. So most of what, fortunately for us, like the calcites as well, which is a good way to segue to the calcites. They're a soft mineral. Makes it nice for lapidary because you can manipulate the shapes real easy. I do a lot of tumbling with the calcites as well. Well, basically all of them you can because they're soft enough and they'll tumble the shape pretty quickly.
So it holds a good polish.
And this is another example of what comes from the wild turkey. This is chocolate giraffe, or giraffe basically.
Oh, how funny you have all the different names. How cool is that? Chocolate giraffe.
When let's say when you own a mine,
Got a sweet
you get a
tooth.
chance to name every stone that you find. So they've had a lot of fun with that. In fact, one of their customers ended up naming it for them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun as
Like
well.
chocolate giraffe.
Yeah, giraffe was the first one that they had come across, which is much browner than that. But then this one was a much deeper chocolate color. Said, hey, what the heck? We'll call it chocolate giraffe.
Cool little design.
Who's gonna argue?
I'm not going to. Yeah, I love it. I love anything that's exotic, unique, extraordinaire. You know, becomes my friend.
And I think that's what you'll find with both the wild turkey and the midnight location is they're very unique. I mean, you're not going to find it just anywhere, and that helps us to be able to present something unique and different for the buyers around here as well.
Is this your business card right there?
That's our business card.
Oh, here's some information right here. Little treasure.
We're from Kent, Washington, up near Seattle. We do fairs and festivals in the Puget Sound area.
So talk more about this calcite. This stuff
Okay,
is,
so
the yellow there, man, it's just amazing.
It's called honeycomb calcite, also known as honey onyx or honey calcite. It comes from the northeast part of Utah in the Uinta Mountains in the Wasatch Range. And it gets its coloration from sulfur and iron and forms in large cracks and crevices. If you look at this picture right in front of you, you can see a bench of the
This
mine
right
where
here?
they actually cut it out.
Look at this.
I know it may be hard to see on camera, but you can kind of see the bench that they cut out.
Oh, so that's the layer that they find.
Yeah, it's about 8 feet tall. I stood up next to that. My head was well below the top edge there.
Huh.
And yeah, they cut it out. It's up about 10,000 feet, so it's quite a trek to bring that stuff down the mountain.
And what do they call it? Onyx calcite? Is it like?
Well,
Why do they have that two name like that?
onyx is typically more of a generic word that's been used in industry in minerals. For instance, here's an example of Grand Canyon onyx. It's a sedimentary mineral or basically rock that's been, has a lot of silicates in it that makes it harden. But they do call it onyx because of its banding on it, and that's usually how you get that onyx look.
How's the banding form? The different layers of
Well,
sediment over and over
basically
again?
sediment.
Was that a river one time?
If you can imagine it, basically, as you just said, you can find river sediments. They'll pile up over the many
Oh, wow.
years.
Look at all the
And
stacks of that.
eventually, you get enough silicates in there, and it'll harden. So, during the metamorphic process, these sedimentary rocks become a solid, and I think it's a pretty friendly rock to work with. It's very unique to northeast Arizona.
Beautiful stuff,
Yeah,
man.
Grand
I love
Canyon-
banding. I love it. I love the crazy lace and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Crazy Lace is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mexico, yeah, I've had some purple. That's really beautiful.
What were you saying about the Grand Canyon? 'Cause I might want to go visit there.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the town in which I think some of it might be very difficult to get to on our own.
Yeah.
So I sourced it out from somebody out of Utah. But yeah, it's northeast part of Arizona. But you can imagine it's near the Grand Canyon. They probably wouldn't be using the name.
There's so many names. How many different names of stones are they?
I don't think any of us could really.
No, because they keep adding to it, don't they?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
when you get different varieties, and a way to differentiate, for instance, a serpentine is a great example. How to differentiate, between different colors and patterns. It's easier if you can get used to a single name for that variety of serpentines. Calcites, they're pretty straight up. I mean, you're going to have coloration from whenever the ore bodies were in the area they were mining.
Do you know how many calcites they are?
Well, I really am not certain how many calcites. Probably be more than I could name.
Probably 10, 20, maybe more than that.
Probably
Hundreds.
hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah, I mean,
Hundreds
if
of
you want-
calcites? Oh my god.
I mean, if you want to get down to
Yeah, the nitty gritty of it, yeah.
Yeah, it could take
Hundreds and hundreds of them, you think they are? That's cool. Yeah, I've seen root beer before. That's a rare color, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
That's
have
like-
not seen the root beer, but I'd
Yeah,
love to.
yeah, it's like a two-tone. Yeah, I love to drink that stuff, but no, yeah, it's rare. It's kind of rare.
But if you want to look around a little bit more, we can maybe go over a couple
Yeah.
more stones and
Yeah, well, how does a pyrite work before we move around? Do you know how that forms, or?
Yeah, that's called iron sulfide.
Okay.
And it forms in basically if you were to take sea bottom areas were a lot of mud, or let's say swamps, old swamps and muddy areas that were trapped from they had no oxygen. They're oxygen depleted areas in which these sulfides were growing, because they basically these guys form where the sulfide minerals are kind of eating themselves, and there's no oxygen to feed on, so the crystals grow in that environment.
So a lot of them are bogs and stuff like that, swamp bogs.
You get in areas like that. I mean, this is why it forms in the lithified muds and in the midnight star, because the mud itself would give you a good indication that it was just like you say. It could be a lake bottom, a bog, or a swamp, sort of thing. So anywhere where there's no oxygen for it to feed on, it's going to create that pyrite.
Is your guys' mine the only place in the world that has this batch, or I know there's minerals around everywhere, but
serpentines are found throughout the world.
Okay.
I mean, it's all just like most minerals. There's going to be slight variations, often in color or certain types of crystal formation, depending on what the deposit is. And so serpentines are generally found in many places throughout all the different continents. So, and same with marbles in general. Like this is we call it marbles only because it's classified in a group of marbles that has several different minerals going on. And it's a limestone. It's basic. Limestone is where most marbles come out of.
Oh, okay. What about black tourmaline? Do you know how that stuff grows? It grows in striations, right? Like stretch marks almost?
Yeah, they're rods. They're
rods?
large rods. And usually where you find black tourmalines, you might also be able to find some of the other watermelon tourmalines. And it's a tourmaline group.
Oh, so a family? They're all hanging out in a family?
Yeah,
that's cute. That's cute. It's a family over there. They're hanging out in tourmalines.
Yeah.
Oh, how adorable is that? Oh my God. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. And you're talking about bismuth over here. How does that stuff grow? You see this stuff once in a while. It's just amazing looking.
Well, I would guess that 99.9% of what bismuth you see out there is going to be man-made. In the sense that we give it the environment to grow. I make these myself, and they're basically...
You do a good job.
They're basically grown within a hot molten liquid, a mass of bismuth. We melt down to about 520 degrees. And during the stable cooling process, these crystals grow inside of the liquid. And with a little bit of garage science and just kind of playing around with air temperatures and cooling times, you can create different things. Colors. Some of them we use molds, but and then we have little creations that we make ourselves with crystals. But the bismuth is used heavily in in metallurgy. They use it in cosmetics and pharmaceutical, and better well known in Pepto-Bismol as the Biz in Bismol.
Do they drink it? They actually drink bismuth?
Bismuth, yeah. So bismuth
God.
is used in cosmetics as well, and so it's widely used. And you come across this. It's an element on the periodic table. It's element 83, and it's a mineral. It's a metal, and it's really it's fascinating. Crystals are really captivating.
It is.
I have some bigger ones back there that I show accordingly if somebody wants to see more.
Sure.
What are these? Are these fossils on dinosaur teeth?
Those are shards of megalodon shark teeth. Those are from the South Carolina coast, out of the Cooper River tributaries.
Wow.
And of course, megalodon, of course, is the well-known superstar of the shark world. He was, chronologically speaking, he was the last of a line of sharks called Ototus. And he's most popular because he was the biggest. He was the size of a school bus. So there's several others in there. His granddad, Angus Steeden, is in there as well.
Oh, there's a different form in there?
Yeah, the Ototus lineage, which goes from the Miocene to the Pliocene era, had many different sharks within that lineage that were very, very big, and they're going to find them scattered throughout the same areas in which they find megalodon.
So was that the nursing ground or something for them? Is that why it has so many teeth they find?
They just the seas, and I would imagine that there were very large bodies of water that they just happen to hang around those coastal regions, maybe more than others. But I couldn't really tell you much about their patterns as far as migration or the offspring and all that sort of thing.
You weren't really there, swimming around.
No, and good thing none of us are.
Oh, I hear that. I want to see that thing in person. You know, Jaws ain't got nothing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're fascinating. People love and have some large ones in the back as well. They like to show off.
Yeah, let's go look back there and see. Yeah, you got the teeth and then the bismuth. You said 2 bigger pieces? Or?
Yeah. So back here, the big example of the larger pieces. Let's keep one of these. Get a couple of megalodon shark teeth.
God. Yeah, I heard every inch on these are 10 feet on the shark. Is that what they call it? Like?
I don't know how you would.
Yeah, that's what these divers told me. They said every inch was 10 feet on the shark.
You know, when you have 276 teeth in the jaw of a
my
shark,
God.
You're going to have different sizes.
276?
Yeah, about 276. And
What a
those
vibe.
guys are going to do coloration based on the minerals in which they were, trapped in the muds that they were. Yeah, that's why you'll find them in brown or black or different colors in between.
Yeah, they find that rivers would be like brown, right? Yeah,
Well,
brown in
yeah, I
rivers,
would guess if
like
you-
swamp,
yeah, if you-
like swamp bogs.
Right,
you know,
and I
so
think if you looked at that for what it is, and you say, okay, well, maybe that makes more sense. And he does. The guy that we get these from, the scuba diver off South Carolina coast, he will work 6 inches of water. He'll work 60 feet of water.
Oh.
So yeah, he's up the tributaries, which goes from the creeks all the way out to the ocean, to the coast, and so.
Beautiful.
Haven't been there myself, but he's an excellent guy to talk to, and he's a very, very well educated on it. You can see the bismuth as well. It's
Yeah.
a really good example of a.
It's like the heart of the ocean right there.
Yeah, that
Look at
one.
that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I had those come out. Luckily enough, it came out in the heart shape, and you can see the different patterns. I call them hopper crystals generically because they hop out and up, out and up. And so it's a really, and you'll find it that's very similar to say halite, which is salt crystals, and pink salt crystals. If you put them side
Doesn't
by
look like
side,
halite. It doesn't
they have the
look
same
halite.
crystal habit. It's not uncommon to see the rhombohedral crystal.
That's made out of salt. Highlight.
Halite's a salt crystal. Yeah.
It dissolves if you hit water on it too much.
Yeah. We went down and did a dig did the Gemorama down in Trona, California, and that was one for salt crystals. But yeah, just some more examples of that. You can see some more coloration and how sometimes the oxidization and the temperatures in which you work with bismuth when you are creating crystals can really change that. I just made some more this morning, as a matter of fact, and the air temperature in the morning is going to get you a different color crystal than you would say later in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
Just the oxidization patterns that happen.
And then it stays, the colors will stay like that?
Yeah, the
Different
colors will
oxidation?
stay like that, and the fun thing is if you don't like it, you can melt it again and start over.
Oh, really? It's amazing. What's that? Those are Utah selenites?
Yeah, that's selenite, raw selenite called Utah ice. That is selenite. It's very, very layered. One of the common misconceptions with selenite satin spar is satin spar is basically spoken in the same selenite language as raw selenite, whereas the fibers in satin spar are much more, they're very exact, they're very long and parallel.
Is that a fishtail or is that just regular selenite?
Yeah,
You know, there's fishtail selenite. You know what I'm talking about? It's like it looks like a fish's tail growing.
right. No, I'm not familiar with that as far as this side is concerned.
Okay.
This locale in southern Utah, but they like to refer to their version as Utah ice. If you do clean it
Okay.
enough, it's very clear. As I was told from one of the mine owners that they used back in the day, as you say, they would use clear sheets of selenite for windows in their house, in the cabins and whatnot.
Oh my God.
It was a nice cheap way to get some
I
light
would love
in the
that.
house.
I would love
and
that.
keep
That's
the
cool.
weather out. So that was kind of a cool piece of history. But yeah, you can see it's pretty raw, and the crystal formations on it in some cases are really beautiful.
So is this a form of a gypsum family?
It's
Or-
a gypsum
is it?
family and associated with satin spar or desert rose. If you've seen desert rose,
Yeah.
they're in the same gypsum family. Yep. Better well known for the use of wallboard and sheetrock.
Do that? Is that how they make it?
Yeah, they grind it up.
Really?
Mix it with some other things.
With the
but-
gypsum, with gypsum.
Yeah,
or desert roses. What
Well,
is-
if you go back far enough, gypsum, the word you would go buy gypsum wallboard.
oh, wow.
You don't hear that term much
Yeah.
anymore. It's more just sheetrock.
Yeah, I never heard
you
that
know.
term. That's cool.
But that's that's how they did it. They would just grind up and some other things they would add.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
of course.
Selenite is the basics to it.
Is that just another form of calcite right there too? The blue? I heard that's the new popular is the Caribbean.
The
Everybody's
Caribbean
getting into
calcite,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
we just happened upon that's from Pakistan. and it's kind of been introduced in the last couple of years. It's beautiful, very popular, a lot of requests for it. And as far as calcites are concerned, here's an aragonite, which is a calcite.
Oh, aragonite's calcite too. That's cool.
Yeah, this is out of a copper mine in northeast Washington State. I'd say about 20-25 miles from the Wild Turkey mine, maybe a little further. And this is one of our unique finds. It's
Oh, you mined that yourself?
We did mine this
Oh
ourselves.
wow, God, I would have loved that find. That's
yeah,
cool.
we ventured into an old copper mine and working some of the crevices and in the walls. You can get out the calcites that form there, and they're color stained.
You mind if I
blue.
hold that thing for one second?
Oh, absolutely.
I just like to feel, because you were the first one in history to pull this thing out from the mine.
Yeah, my
So,
other people have been there and have
Nobody's got
retrieved
it.
some, but other people have gotten it. But my brother,
No, I'm
and I,
saying this piece.
my
Nobody
brother-
got this piece.
that's
This is
a
right out of
unique
yours.
piece.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's one that we're kind of holding on to. It's kind of near and dear to us.
Oh, so it's not for sale?
It could be if the price,
You gotta ask, guys. You gotta
How
ask.
much money you got in your pocket?
Oh, well, I don't know. I got a bank account. I could call in a lifeline.
Yeah, we've
call
been
in a
offered,
lifeline.
but it's fun to have. It just
Beautiful.
we probably won't see that again. It's our only.
Yeah, I would keep it too. You know, finding something like that in a mine, man, that's like it's priceless. You know, it is priceless.
Yeah,
you know?
when you think about the opportunity to find something unique, that was it.
Pure bragging rights. You know where it's from, when it was from, why it was from. You know the whole backstory.
Yeah, and you're always learning that was a mineral analyzation done on it to make sure we knew what it was. It originally was thought to be hemimorphite, which is another type of crystal formation, and very similar to that. But there was a mineral analyzation done on it, and
How did they do
it
that?
came back as that's a process for those guys who.
Oh, you give it to somebody in a lab or something?
You got a guy in a lab. He's crushing it probably into a powder.
Oh my God!
And, who
I
knows?
got this.
Yeah, there are tests. There are tests that we can even do with some of this. The rocks ourselves. We'll often do a hydrochloric acid test and that sort of thing. You know, to check how much calcium carbonates might be in a rock or not, and how it responds to. A lot of minerals respond to hydrochloric in certain ways, whether the hydrochloric is warm or cold. It may not respond at all. And it's just one more part of the test that you would do to be able to tell, possibly what it is you're digging and what you're finding. But I'll let the mineral analyst. That's what they do.
Yeah, they got the $1 million machines. Let them play with it. You know,
so I'll never be able to assess what's in them as much as they will be able to do it. So most of us rock accountants just hope to learn as much as we can about that.
Oh yeah.
So mostly it's sharing and that sort of thing. So.
Well, you know, rock stars got to stick together, man. You know, so if you love something, we love it. You know, you got to stick together with it.
We're all kind of rock stars.
We are rock stars. We are. Yeah, we are rock stars.
Except our guitar is our hammer.
Oh, you're right. There you go. We got our own musical instrument right here in our hands.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, Thor ain't got nothing on us.
Yeah, as rock counting changed our lives for sure.
Did
we
it?
absolutely enjoy it. Just sent us in another direction that we wouldn't have ordinarily gone, and here we are, enjoying the Arizona sun, selling rocks.
And honestly, it's relaxing more than ever. Aren't you calming more than being the hustle bustle of life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having to rush to work. Oh my God, rush hour traffic.
Yeah,
freaking out every step of the way.
The speed of life is different. The social interaction with people is great. It's not like customer service where there's a lot of unfortunate issues that have to be resolved. I mean, we're usually having a positive conversation.
Oh my God.
And that's you can't beat that.
You can't. Oh my God. No more 1-800 numbers getting yelled at.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's what keeps you learning too. I mean, you listen to the people that you interact with. You're like yourselves, and the more you listen to other people's stories, the more you pick up and then add to your own knowledge about rocks.
That's how I got to this level.
Yeah.
As a little boy, I found a letter opener buried in my backyard at 5 years old.
Yeah.
It has a Native American face on the handle. I found that at 5 years old, buried in my backyard.
That's awesome.
Well, I lost the ring. I used to bury a ring every day. I would dig it up and then cover it up and then dig it up and find it and become a treasure hunter. And then my dad went out of town.
To recreate the
I did it every time, over and over. I loved the dig over and over. So one day, my dad was fixing a fence and he went out of town, and he left his post hole digger on the side of the fence.
Yeah.
So I grabbed it. I was like 5-6 years old. I remember like it was yesterday. And I used to dig. I dug a hole and I went about 3 foot deep. And I threw it down the hole and covered it up and lost it. So I started digging it up, looking for it. Dug deeper. I dug deeper. And I couldn't find it, so I started freaking out. And at 5 years old, I knew about death because my feet were hanging out of the hole. And I was like, I'm gonna die in this hole at 5 years old. So, or 5 or 6 years old. So I climbed out, and I never found the ring. But what I did find would change the world forever for the better.
Yeah.
And that was that Native American letter opener I found. I still have it framed on my wall in my store. So,
is that your motivation then?
well, to me is after that day, I told myself I was going to grow up and become the treasure man. So mentally, physically, emotionally, I dug so deep until I found myself surrounded.
Have you found your treasure?
I did. I found myself. That's the ultimate treasure.
I was just gonna say,
That's the ultimate. I've dug so deep. I found myself.
Sometimes this isn't the treasure; it's what you find in yourself when you get there.
That's the coolest part. You know, yeah, I broke myself down so much. I hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And then now that I climbed out, they're calling me a rock star.
You know,
so you know, what are the odds of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we all have to learn to take a little something away from that experience. And, it's fabulous.
You got to make your worst day your best. That's what I figured out.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I lost the ring.
Takes some
I
of us
freaked
a while
out.
to learn that.
Yeah, I freaked out. You know, my dad gave it to me. It was the first thing I ever lost from my dad. Never wouldn't be the last.
Where is it now?
The ring? It's buried in the ground still.
Oh.
I'm gonna buy that house. I'm gonna buy that house one day and find it. Yeah, I'll be famous and I'll go back and buy that house and I'll get it excavated. I'll get it all documented.
I was gonna say, you better document that story.
How cool would that be? Yeah. And they find the ring. They're like, oh, what are the odds that I said, I told you it was buried in there.
See, now the problem is you're telling everybody about this.
Oh, they don't know what address.
They're gonna go find it.
Well, we jumped around a lot. We jumped around to like 4 or 5 houses.
The story,
No,
so
4 or 5 houses. 4 or 5 houses when we were growing up. No, it's all a true story. No, I know you. But yeah, I'm about to publish a book on it. Yeah, I've been working on a book for about 10 years now about it. So it's really cool.
So you've been coming to Quartzsite for
first time. Yeah. I went to Denver last year for the first time. I went to North Carolina twice. I never went to Tucson. Never went to none of them. But so I went to Denver and I bought out the Madagascar tent. First time I went, he's like, the first time you went, you buy out a whole tent. I said, yeah, you know. So I brought back a semi truck. I liquidated that, and now I'm here to try to get 2 semi trucks. But I'll probably just end up getting 1. Yeah, I bought out the right next to your brother's booth.
I was just gonna
I bought out the Moroccan
booth.
You. Yeah, I bought out the Moroccan booth.
I thought I saw you over there around those pallets.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I bought out the Moroccan booth. So I'm gonna try to add to it because a semi truck is like 20 to 25 pallets. Yeah. So I need to add another maybe 8 to 10 pallets.
So where's home?
Florida.
Just Florida.
Yeah, born and raised.
All right.
On the playground is where I spend most of my days.
All right. Well, I better get back and do some more lap.
I understand. I don't want to hold up no more of your time, sir.
Yep.
But, you know, hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate your time.
Well, I'm glad you're sharing because it's what we need to do. We need to share more of the information and the history of minerals and fossils. Fossils are a great part of history as well. So.
If you guys want to learn anything else about it from this gentleman right here, he's a rock star. He's a scholar. You know, and rock stars got to stick together, guys. So enjoy your day. Give this guy a call, email him, text him, whatever you want to do.
Easy on the scholar.
Yeah, don't be calling too much, guys. We don't want no 12 o'clock nighters calls. He has a family. Yeah, have a great night, guys. Thank you for everything. And never give up on your dreams, no matter how small or how big they may be. I'll see you later. Thanks. Come to the top. Careful. Gotta be careful, man. Helicopter! The circle of life. You want me to climb it?
Yeah. Now go climb it.
Okay, hold my hand. We'll climb together.
Okay.
We on the top of the mountain, Rora. What a jump. Wait for me.
Hey, go get your stick.
Rora, let's climb up this machine. Come on.
Emeralds and diamonds, garnets are shining. Who would have thought rocks are made for grinding? Agates and ruby, but don't forget them beauty pieces of dirt that turns into work. Obsidian and jasper, Coonsite and Casper, the whole gang is there. You can't help Okay, okay, okay. Drink up, guys. It's about to get real. Woo! Go, 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 go!
That's a wrap.